Today I'm here to talk about the Sega Saturn, and I'm sure most of you have heard of it, but you guys probably didn't get a chance to play it. For me, it remains honestly one of the most underrated consoles of all time, but it's also one of my all-time favorites of all time. Some people think about the Sega Genesis when you say Sega. Honestly, I remember the Sega Saturn. It was actually my first system that I bought from Sega. It wasn't Genesis, even though I did play a lot of Genesis thanks to my cousin. He let me borrow it when I was a little kid. But honestly, it was not my first Sega console. It was the Sega Saturn. And I actually bought it at Walmart real cheap. And this system actually introduced me to a lot of my favorite Sega games and characters, believe it or not. Too bad the Sega Saturn was short-lived, especially in North America. Believe it or not, in Japan, it was the king. It actually was outselling the PlayStation and the Nintendo 64 for a long time. But I'm going to keep it short and simple. And, well, these are my top 10 games of all time for this amazing console. And I hope you enjoy. And here we go. Daytona USA. And I must admit, it wasn't arcade perfect and it wasn't running your 60 frames per second. But honestly, it was pretty impressive for its time. I loved it. It was super fast. And honestly, my favorite part was the music. Daytona. Number 9, it's Virtua Cop 1 and 2. And another game I owned. And honestly, the Sega Saturn definitely showed off the power of its arcade perfect games with this one. The best part was the 2-player mode. The light guns were so precise. Honestly, they made you feel you were at the arcade. And the best part, you weren't spending the quarters, but this one's another one that I love playing. Number 8 was Sega Rally Championship. Another beautiful racer, better than Daytona USA just because it was arcade perfect, and honestly better than the arcade. The console was so much better. Number 7 is Panzer Dragoon, and honestly I love this series. It was born on the Saturn, and honestly one of the best rail shooter games you're gonna find out there. Lots of action, great graphics for its time. Nothing was close to this game. Honestly, you have to check it out. Number 6, Three Dirty Dwarfs, and one of the weirdest games I've ever played, honestly, but it's also one of the best, one of the funnest, and the graphics were really pretty, as you can see here. And you can play it up to 3 players, and this is one of those games we rented over and over, and we beat it about 6 times, and we just went back to it. Don't let the title discourage you. This is an awesome game for the Saturn. Recommend it. Number 5 is Die Hard, the arcade game. And another beat 'em up brawler that gave us hours and hours of fun. And you probably played the arcade version of this, and it plays exactly the same on the Saturn. Controls were fucking awesome. Excuse my language. Got a little bit excited. And the best part, 2 players. So great game. Recommend it. Go for it. Number 4, Virtua Fighter Part 2. And of course, I was going to put the pioneer of the 3D fighting games. This game was awesome. Arcade perfect, so smooth. It was like playing the arcade, but it was at home, obviously. Recommend it. To this day, it holds up pretty nicely. Number 3 is Fighters Megamix, another exclusive to the Saturn that combined a lot of Sega characters in one game. Characters from Virtua Cop, from Virtua Fighter, and Fighting Vipers, and even the car from Daytona USA. This game was awesome. We rented this game a lot of times, and it never disappointed. A lot of competition for sure. And I mean, just look at the graphics. Real good game. Number 2, Guardian Heroes. And this is the reason why I love the company Treasure so much. The first time I played Guardian Heroes, my friend Henry brought it over to my house. And let me tell you, it's one of the best games out there. So many characters, so much animations. It was amazing, and it's still to this day one of my all-time favorite games. This is actually on my top 10. Honestly, I recommend it. And the way you can still play it, actually, you can play it on Xbox Live. They did a remake. please do me a favor and play it and let me know how you liked it. But yeah, this is definitely one amazing treasure game. Number one, Nights into Dreams. And this beautiful game was created by the creator of Sonic the Hedgehog. And honestly, I like it more than Sonic the Hedgehog, believe it or not. I love the music. The graphics were beautiful, as you can see here. And this is Saturn footage, by the way. And I still play it, I still play it with my kids because it actually came out on the Xbox. And we play it during Christmas. I guess it became a tradition, the Christmas nights. But the controllers were so smooth. And this game still till this day gives me so many memories of having my Saturn. I recommend it. It's a masterpiece. I had to put it on number one just because it's one of those games that changes your life, kind of like Mario 64, and quite honestly, it's pretty up there for me with Mario 64. Highly recommended. Get it on the Xbox. Honestly, there's an HD remake. It plays exactly the same, and you won't regret it. Trust me. Hope you enjoy watching my video of my favorite Sega Saturn games. And I'm sure you're all not going to agree with my list, but these are the games that are real memorable to me. Leave me a message though and tell me which were your favorite games. We can probably talk about that. Thanks for watching once again. Until next time, until I have time, because I already have a job. Talk to you guys later, and remember, this is just a ride. I'll see you on my next video.